There's an ancient story of two travelers, two seekers of truth, who went to a special palace that was filled with treasure and wisdom. In fact, pilgrims from all across the world would come to this place to learn or to contemplate the meaning of life. And as they walked through room to room and learned, they came to one room in particular that was labeled Phobeo. And they walked in. Immediately, each of the two travelers was drawn to an object in the room. The first traveler saw this magnificent statue. It was a beautiful statue of a gorgeous woman, and the statue was so noble and so lifelike that the traveler almost reached out to touch it to see if it was real. He just stood in awe of this magnificent piece of art. It was as close to perfection as human craftsmanship could get. Well, the other traveler didn't even notice the beautiful statue. He just saw the cage in the room with the giant poisonous snake inside. You see, this traveler was terrified of snakes. And as this snake coiled and hissed, all he could do was stare at this deadly serpent. That is phobeo. It's a Hebrew word that means fear or awe. It actually means super concentrated focus. The first of the three angels' message says, fear God and give him glory. And some people think of God a little bit like the snake. He's very powerful. He has the ability to end your life. And when they read verses that say fear God, they think it means don't sin out of fear of God. Just like you never speed when there's a cop sitting on your tail. But there's another meaning of that word, and it is reverent awe, focus. Just like the first traveler who couldn't take his eyes off of the beautiful statue. If you read the whole book of Revelation, you'll find that whenever God is described in heaven, he's surrounded by adoring worshipers who can't stop saying, glory, 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 who are just so in awe of him, they're singing his praises. We're not described any scenes where the worshipers of God are terrified, are worried that God will strike them down or hurt them if they don't say the right thing. Many times in our religions, or especially in our rejection of religion, people are rejecting the snake God, the God who rules through fear and force. And while all of us who are Christians believe that God is good, many times we have ideas about God that make us a little bit afraid when we mess up. We try to appease God. It's like we turn into worshipful snake charmers. If I do all the right things and go to church on the right day and eat all the right foods, then you won't strike me. And that is a religion full of fear. And if you read about Jesus in the Gospels and about the disciples following Jesus, they weren't charming the snake. They were standing in awe of the most perfect being who'd ever walked the face of the earth. In fact, after Jesus calmed the storms, the disciples said, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." And you can't help but imagine as they said this phrase that they couldn't tear their eyes off of Jesus because they were focused on him. They had a great awe of him. They were experiencing phobeo. Our world is crazy right now. And it's always crazy, but for many of us it seems a little crazier than normal. And so today, instead of focusing on what could happen or what is happening or the fear or the snake, look up and see the beautiful statue of Jesus, which is the divine image of God's character. Look at that. And then no matter what happens with the election or with the world, you will be able to say, with calm, peaceful courage. God's got this. God bless you.